Hi everyone, welcome to Eye of the East Coast. Today we have Laura and Patricia from HATHA Girls. Welcome ladies, how are you?
We're great.
Good.
I'm okay.
You're okay.
Yeah. Like my Iron Man.
Oh, and so for our listeners, just so that if you can introduce who's who so they can have a name to the voice.
Well, I'm Laura.
And I'm Patricia.
To Patricia. For our listeners, so your name is the HATHA Girls. Can you explain to the listeners where the name came from?
Sure. We researched many names. We had a hard time actually finding a name that fit exactly what we do because we are soul sisters and we know we've worked together in many lives. So we actually found Hatha is a Sanskrit word that means the life breath, which kind of explains what we do for our clients and how we help them. And if you break up the word into two words, so Ha and Tha, Ha means the sun and Tha means the moon. So we know that we fit together sort of like that connection between the sun and the moon. And we also relate to sun and moon energy. So it worked out really well that word works for us. And we found that over the years, it's gained a lot of power and energy around what we do.
Excellent. That's really cool. I like that. How did you each get into this profession? We'll start with Laura.
Well, actually, I grew up not really knowing there was anything much different about me. I just thought everybody knew what I knew or saw what I saw. So I didn't really quite understand it. And I had as I started to develop, I had some kind of scary, at the time, things that were scary to me happen. I had dreams about just people getting injured and people getting hurt. And I did have a dream that somebody died and then they actually did die. So at that point, I kind of shut everything down. And things started to kind of bubble up to the surface again around the time that I met Patricia, and we started developing together and deciding that we had this similar gift and that we wanted to share it with people.
How did you two meet?
We met at, we're both public school certified teachers in the public school system, and we met in the Bachelor of Education program in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Patricia, how did you get into the mediumship?
I didn't get into anything. I was born this way. I'm from Jamaica, where it's just a normality. Spirituality is used. So I didn't get into anything. I was born a medium and a healer, and I've always been this way. And when I met Laura, actually, I was trying to hide it from her because in here I find people, there's a dichotomy between spirituality and who you are. It's like people said, I didn't know you were that way, but we're actually spirit beings. And so Laura and I connected on that level, and we became really good friends, close friends, best friends now, soul sisters.
Oh yeah, more than friends for sure.
More than friends, so... Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. So, Patricia, when you speak about healing, what healing do you do?
I do all sorts of healing. I do the color healing, color balancing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with herbs and spices. I do like shaman mysticism. I get into the healing energies of people. I know what oils or herbs that will heal. I develop products around that, what we're talking about now. And so healing the mind, body, spirit to help people move on from patterns and to transform their lives. And we've been doing this for over 7 years now.
Yeah, almost 8.
Almost 8 years.
Wow. Let's talk about your reality TV show coming up. Can you explain to listeners what that's about?
Well, right now the name is called Psychic Soul Sisters, mm-hmm. and we have met with a wonderful production company here in Halifax that is developing the show. So we filmed a few of the episodes, and the show has been pitched all over the world, and we're in the final stages of development now. So we're really excited about it. We'll be doing everything in the show from energy healings to hauntings and mm-hmm. spirit crossover, cleansings, anything, psychic readings, spontaneous psychic readings, all those things.
And hanging out with dead people. We just love it. and also the show is about. It's a traveling show, so we travel around the world helping people. So it's an actual traveling psychic soul sister traveling, and it's also about Laura and Patricia's relationship, and we're just psychic divas too.
Where have you been?
Well, we've been to Jamaica. Patricia's traveled around and did her psychic stuff long before meeting me too, but we've been mostly us. We've been all around Nova Scotia together doing readings and helping people. But we did do quite a bit of healing in Jamaica the last time we were there.
Okay.
And Patricia's been UK and all over the place, New York, Toronto. So.
Oh, nice. I know we have some listeners from the UK.
Oh yeah, like we have a big client base in England right now, and they're like, when are you coming? When are you coming? Even last week they were like, because we do a lot of healing, distance healing too, and telephone healing too. So yeah.
Nice. For our listeners, those who are starting to develop their mediumship abilities, what would you say to them to start?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we found is that patience is so important. You can't rush it. Everybody is gifted. Everybody has their own abilities, and this is something that you can't rush into. Your physical self is always trying to keep up with your spiritual self. So you can imagine if you're evolving your spiritual self and you're trying to go really fast and do everything, faster than your physical self can keep up, you're going to make yourself sick. Mm-hmm. So what we tell people is lean on your spirit guides, lean on your spirit help to help you develop and allow things to happen as they happen. And sometimes knowing that you're always protected is a really important thing to remember, just because you have to experience some of the scary, maybe some of the negative things just to know what you want and what you don't want, and what spirits you want to channel and what spirits you don't. Mm-hmm. So we always tell people that they need to experience the range of emotion and feeling and vibration of spirit and decide where they want to work and where they kind of want to land, and always know that you're protected and you're safe.
That's
and also to realize that people cannot teach you to be a medium. You're either born a medium or you don't. We can help you to develop some of the skills in terms of the tools, by specific tools. There's specific genre or tools, whatever you might call them, that we can guide people to use and do, like meditation for one. But I've always talked to dead people. I see dead people, so it's like it's nothing for me. And nobody didn't teach me that, but my mother was a big help. So also to find friends that you can connect to, like-minded people who are not going to think you're abnormal, and just to realize that, we're always fighting with ego, and ego is going to make us feel as though we're doing something wrong, and there's nothing wrong with being a medium or a psychic, and it's very normal. We just feel that it's a wonderful ability and skill set to have and to open to.
And I think a lot of people don't quite understand. They think that we have spirit talking to us all the time, and that we hear them like we would hear any physical person or any physical voice, and it's not about that at all. Spirit talks through a language. So what we can help people with that are developing mediums is to help them kind of develop that spirit language with their spirit guides and with their past loved ones in the beginning, and then move on to talk to other people and invite other spirits in.
And also we have a wide range, we call it spirit library, because spirit comes in symbols. Like Laura and I get everything from sound, smell, taste, hearing, seeing, so many different ways the spirit guide dreams. And when we talk to people, they're saying, why don't our spirit guide talk to us like they talk to you? And we're saying, but they do talk to you, but in different ways. So we need to be open to the different ways of communication and realize that spirit is always communicating.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice, Patricia. I just want to go back to ego for a second. For the listeners, what is your definition of ego?
Ego is the physical self. So we come into the physical world to experience physicality, to create and co-create with people. Our soul self, our highest source, evolved self, the spiritual self that is within us, that source energy, is always trying to come forth, but the ego, the physical mind, is always coming forth stronger. We were not taught to think with our spiritual minds. We were taught to think with our ego, and so the ego is more to do with the physicality, the physical self, the needs and the wants, our the shifts in terms of the physical survival. The source self is never, the energy self, spirit self is never in need of anything. It's just based on love. And so the physical self is always fighting. You always want something, whether materialism or, the vast consumerization. It's all physical ego.
Yeah, a small example is that the ego will tell you, I don't have enough money. I need money. I don't have enough money. The physical self will never tell you that. The physical self is the physical self is what wants the money. The spiritual self will never tell you that. Spiritual self will only allow you to stay in a place of allowing the universe to catch you when you fall. And the ego is saying, oh no, careful, you're going to fall. And the spiritual self is saying, it's okay. I'll support you. Anything you need, I'll catch you if you fall. So it's a different perspective that you have to deal with in your physical life, because we're not spirit yet. We're still in the physical.
And the ego is always, the ego is built around fear and need and wants and survival and quenching a thirst in terms of consumerization, and always needy and clingy. The source self is never that way. It's built on compassion, love, and awareness. And so when I say ego, I'm talking about anything that's not source spirit self.
I agree with you. And for our listeners, can you explain what you do if you're investigating a haunting, for example?
Every case is different, but usually we prepare ourselves before we go. So we have a cleansing routine and a grounding routine meditation that we do before we do any spirit work. And once we get there, we normally open up our chakras and we sense what we need to in order to do the kind of like a reading on the situation. Talk to clients about it. We use a lot of color, so we wear certain colors depending on what the situation is. For house cleansings, we wear red. Red is our sacred color for house cleansings. So in a process of talking to spirit, we learn if we have to cross over spirit. Sometimes before we even get to a haunting, we know we need a certain prayer. We develop a kind of a method. Do we have to burn sage? Do we have to use salt? Do we have to use certain oils? Do we have to use lemon, lime, garlic, whatever? Whatever we need, we get from spirit, and we come prepared. When we come to a host cleansing, we come prepared with everything. Our procedure, our method, our prayer is all there. So we talk to spirit, cross over spirit, counsel spirit if we have to, and then we do a cleansing.
And basically, when Laura and I get to a place, the HATHA Girls meeting, we're there to kick ass. We're not there to pussyfoot with spirits. And, I am like a Xena warrior princess in the spirit world, and I'm not pussyfooting with spirits. Once we get there, and we've had a lot of really demonic, bad spirits, and, we're never scared. But once we get there, we know spirit has to either leave or cross over. We're not there to leave them there.
Can you give an example of a story for the listeners of maybe a negative experience?
For me especially, some spirits like Laura, because she's blonde and pretty. And, I'm from Jamaica, gorgeous dark brown chocolate, and I'm telling you, some spirits who were in 100 years ago were very racist. I've met some racist spirits, like really nasty, and some of them want to do things to you, like harm you, and they will want to push you. We've had some pinching, really scary stuff, but because we're not scared, and we have to be careful in the spirit world to ground and to protect ourselves and cleanse and to cut all cords of connection. So, for instance, Spirit Mind tried to do something to Laura and I, but we're so protected, they don't even, Spirit just walk away from me. They don't even bother with me.
This blonde hair gets me in trouble sometimes. I've had a lot of spirits playing with my hair, patting my hair. So it's going to be, every case is different. We always end up
touching your ass.
Yeah, we always end up in all these.
No, the other day we had a spirit and he was patting my ass. He wouldn't leave me alone. He's never been with a black girl, and he just zoned in on me because, honest to God, like, spirits are still, they're not here, but they know beauty. They still sense stuff, and it's some of them just do it for fun, and some of them are really nasty. But the evil ones are the ones that will try to harm you, like literally try to harm you.
Mm.
Well, for our listeners, those who may have fear about spirit or what have you, what advice would you give them to help heal that fear?
The best advice I can give you is to have power and strength in what you say and mean it. If you feel like your space is being invaded by spirit, you need to have a forceful, I was going to say conversation, but it's more like a forceful command for spirit to get them, to tell them to leave and let them know that you mean business. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've already had those conversations and you feel like you've put as much power and effort into it as you can, I think, maybe, and you've come to a place where you just can't handle it anymore, then you need outside help, and you need somebody who
Call
can help you with that.
Girls.
Call the HATHA Girls. But I think people underestimate how powerful they are. Get some sea salt, get some sage, smudge your home. Tell spirit that is your place of refuge, your place of comfort, and they are not welcome. And use whatever symbols you feel comfortable using. Some people like crosses. Some people like using certain names of spirit. Some people use many different ways to get rid of spirit, and whatever works for them. But the most important thing is that you believe it, and that you're forceful, and that you have power in what you say.
Let's go back to the color therapy for a second. Can you explain a little bit to the listeners what that means?
Sorry, you just kind of faded out a bit there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. My thing is starting to echo. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Can you hear me okay?
No, we're losing you.
Oh, fudgicles. Okay.
Well, color.
That's you. Color therapy's all you.
They're primary and secondary colors, and I must say we have done a PD session with teachers where we help them to develop certain strategies of using colors. For instance, we have the primary and secondary colors, and a lot of people are wearing the wrong colors. And color, just like thoughts, or energy, and it doesn't have negative consequences, but it can actually stagnate and block your chakras. So, for instance, Laura and I use purple to do any kind of private readings, psychic mediumship private readings, and the reason why we use certain colors is because it enhances your awareness and your energy field, and it broadens it, and it becomes a symbol where spirit know that you're wearing certain colors to do certain things.
Yeah. That's color healing. But we also use color. Color is vibration. So different colors have different vibrations. So we use colors for certain things, for certain purposes, but it can also help to heal and protect us. If we have kind of a weak spot in our aura, or if certain colors in our aura need to be enhanced, we can wear certain colors to match that vibration and help keep our strength up.
And also to talk about the chakras, for somebody having a problem with the third eye, it's not necessarily that I would recommend the chakra color. I would recommend the color that match their vibration, and not necessarily the specific chakra colors. But it's good that people learn about the chakra colors, but also to add on to that, we need to know what our primary colors are and wear more of that so that we can empower. It's like attracting success. For you, Kalina, you probably need a color that you wear to an interview to attract what you want. And if you wear the wrong color, it does the opposite. Mm-hmm. So we need to know our primary and secondary colors, and we teach people that.
How can the listeners find what color they want on their own? Like if they were doing a meditation or psychic exercise, what would they need to do?
They could meditate and ask and ask their spirit guides to show them whether in a dream or to tell them which colors match their vibration. And the answer might not come quickly, but eventually we've taught people to ask for it. Instead of we telling you what the colors are, we train people also to get into a meditative state, quiet the mind, listen to your spirit guide, and the color do come. It might not come the same day, but it does come, and they'll call us and say, oh my God, I feel much better wearing my specific primary color. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we're sick, and it's nothing to do with medical sickness, it's because we're wearing the wrong colors. And if we change the color to a primary color, sometimes we get healing instantaneously.
What are some of the definitions of a prime color?
Primary colors, for Laura and I, we have primary colors when we're doing spiritual work. Public speaking, we have to wear green. Mm-hmm. So we wear green to enhance the vibration, but also to protect us from the energies around us. We'll wear purple as a way to open our chakra when we're doing spiritual private readings. And we wear red because red symbolizes kick-ass. So we're ready for hauntings, spirit crossover, and we wear red for protection. But it also tells spirit that we mean business, and it matches our vibration at the time when we're doing the hauntings and paranormal investigations.
What does green symbolize?
Money for us.
No, green. Green we use a lot when we're doing public speaking because it makes us more open and approachable. Makes people accept our ideas a little bit better. Helps us listen a little bit better, but some certain shades of green are really good for physical healing too. Mm-hmm. So in that case, we're just looking to enhance what we say and help to, because it's all about healing. So help to give people some healing in their life, even if it's only for a few minutes.
Nice. If someone was getting into and doing their own investigations on haunting or anything like that, what would you recommend for them to do to start?
Protect themselves.
Yeah.
The first thing is that do not force ability. We have seen a lot of people, because Jack is doing that, Jill thinks that, oh, I'm supposed to do that, and go mess with an open vortex, and they have hauntings like crazy in their house because,
or they get really
sick because, oh, I was trying to practice this. So the first thing you need to know is that your ability is that what you're supposed to be doing. If not, leave it alone. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do it because of interest, get somebody who's very, who's already doing hauntings and investigation to go with you as a way to practice. Don't ever go by yourself if you don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Because spirit will crucify you, especially the mean earthbound spirits.
Well, they attach themselves to people that they know they can, and that they know they're going to get attention. So it's really important for somebody who's starting out and has an interest in this to learn about it first, but also you need to learn the best way to ground, the best way to protect yourself, the best way to cleanse, because we need to cleanse our spiritual and physical self after an investigation, and sometimes before, depending on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you don't cleanse and you don't have the intent to stay healthy and keep the spiritual self strong, you can end up with spirit attachments that can make people very sick. And we've seen this in some of the recent ghost investigation haunting type shows that have been on television in the past 10 years, that some of the people in the shows have become ill. And it's because this is just my opinion, but they're not equipped to go and do it because they haven't been protecting, cleansing, and grounding themselves. They call in the light, which is good. You see that on some shows. But sometimes it takes a lot more than that. And it takes a lot of personal personal strength. It takes a lot of spirit strength and spirit power behind that too.
And you have to be physically healthy too when you're doing spiritual work, because if Laura and I are sick, we will cancel. But if you're really sick, you cannot do spiritual work because it takes a toll on your body, your energy centers. You're using up energy that if you were feeling okay, it wouldn't affect you. But because you were sick and you went to do a haunting, it used up so much of your energy. It just do the opposite and makes you more sicker than you should be. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is actually learn about safe practice, cleansing, grounding, calling the light, but also doing your own research and asking your spirit guide and the universe to help.
I just want to go back for a second and ask, what is your definition of a vortex? Because I know other readers have different definitions.
We look at a vortex as a connection to another dimension. Now, we know there's many, many, many dimensions, and there's vortexes that have been closed for a reason. And our spirit guides, our light, all the light beings around us work very hard to keep us protected and sometimes to help us to close vortexes that have things coming through them that shouldn't be or that can be harmful to people. Mm-hmm. So when we go along and we go to a haunting, for example, or we go to a place and we are doing ceremonies or things that are opening up vortexes, we're actually playing with the balance in the universe and the balance that's been protected and set up by our spirit guides to help us. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, there's vortexes to dimensions that are probably very helpful, and I'm not saying that we don't have that as well, but we have to be very careful that we don't mix in things that we can't see and we don't understand. So often people will do, a little ceremony, or they use a Ouija board, or they try to connect with spirit, and to them it doesn't matter. They don't call in the light. Any old spirit will do. And then they open up a vortex, which maybe in the beginning it was fun, entertaining, something kind of strange happened, but then they get more harmful things happening because they've opened up that gateway.
What's your opinion on the Ouija board?
Well, I think a Ouija board can be used for good and it can be used for bad things. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, people's intent is to have an entertainment. It's more about entertainment than it is about really connecting to spirit for a meaningful message. Some people do use it in a meaningful way, and they have no problem because they're protected, they're grounded, they call in the light, they only use spirits that they trust, mm-hmm. and that's okay. It's just another way of contacting spirit, but the history of the Ouija board is not a good one, and most people buy them and use them for entertainment purposes. And then, like I said, they don't understand what they're doing. They open up a door, a gateway that they don't even understand what they've done, and it can cause them some problems in life.
Mm.
All right, the hauntings at their home.
Or hauntings, yeah.
That's true. I know this went really fast. So for our listeners, if they want to get a hold of you or find out more about your TV show, how can they go about it?
Well, we have a Facebook page. We have 2 Facebook pages, actually. So if you just type in HATHA Girls Mediums on Facebook, you will get us, no problem. All our contact information is there. You can also contact us by email at hathagirls@live.ca. And I think, most of our contact's there. Yeah, we're on Twitter, too.
Link Canada.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, thank you so much for coming on today. It was really lovely having you.
Yeah, well, Kalina, before we go, can we just talk about our event for a minute?
Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, that's okay. We have a live event coming up May 4th, and it's called Soulgasm. And it's us speaking together with another spiritual teacher, Dan King, and he is an amazing life coach. He's worked with Deepak Chopra, he's worked with Sylvia Brown, and many other spiritual leaders, and he's just such an awesome speaker, and he's coming to talk to us about our soul's purpose and about what life really is all about, and he just has a really genuine approach. Patricia and I are going to do some live audience readings, and we're really, really, really pumped about that because that's what we really love to do. And then afterwards will be a Q&A session. So this is May 4th from 2 to 6 at the Delta Barrington in Halifax. And tickets are $65 in advance and $80 at the door. And we are really getting low on tickets now. So we suggest if people would like a ticket to just email us at hathagirls@live.ca and we'll send them all the information about getting tickets.
Awesome. That sounds great. No, I hope that goes well for you guys. And thank you again so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Have a great weekend.
You too. You take care.
Thank you.